I do like the slow eccentric. That fucking works. All right, and that ends at 17 RIR. Anyone want to claim that all top pros go to failure? Categorically either lying or making things up. I can't quite tell which one. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength. I am a longtime professor of sport exercise science, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappler, and a competitive bodybuilder. But the number of rungs on the ladder of competitive bodybuilding is incredibly high. I'm very, very far down on that list. However, there is one person at the very, very top of the list, the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Lee Haney? No. Ronnie, of course. No, still no. What? Well, by God, who is it? Dr. Mike, stop playing with us. It is none other than Iris Kyle. 10-time Miss Olympia winner, technically speaking, the most dominant bodybuilder of history. Let's take a look at how she's training. Let's see if we can offer any polite critiques and see if we can learn some stuff. 3, 2, 1, Iris Kyle.
Unbelievable, absolutely phenomenal muscle structure. Look at the striations in her glutes.
Definitely has them glutes.
That is not easy to obtain, and it shows extremely low body fat. If I met her in a dark alley, Dan, I would be scared.
It was kind of an odd comment. I suppose it's a general comment about all very lean and muscular people, that potentially they have a lot of force production they could, but I don't know. Odd comment. Moving on. All right, so let's look at how we're training.
One more.
Kind of partial in the mid-range, very partial, very mid-range. Not a lot of stretch to the muscles. Not ideal. Would love to see most people go lower. Maybe she has some injury limitations or figured out that her stimulus to fatigue ratio is best training like that. And also make sure you have training partners that wear insanely bright colors. Ooh, all right. So that inverted upright row grip is something a lot of people just won't be able to do. Your shoulder mobility will not allow you to do it in many cases. But if you can pull it off, it's a great exercise. It really points your elbows up for you, which allows your side delts to really take over the movement, which is great. Also, look at the size of this girl's traps. Holy shit. What you storing in them shits, girl? But seriously, this is a really excellent version of upright rows. Give it a shot with light weight. If it feels weird on your wrists or your elbows or your shoulders, mess with the technique a little bit, maybe reconsider. If it feels good, get you a watermelon flavored training partner and get to town on these shits. OJ and watermelon, Scott's the video guy. That's what we're doing today.
35, 5 more. 36, 37, good. 38, come on.
Ooh, we doing ultra high reps. God damn.
Last one. 40.
So I don't know if they were counting totals and then taking breaks. That could be the case, but even if they did 40 reps in one set and one go, it's at the end of the world. Mostly what we hear is sets of 5 to sets of 30 are the most hypertrophic, the most anabolic rep range, and that's not wrong. But difficult sets, all the way to 40 and 50 reps in some contexts, in many contexts, produce decent levels of hypertrophy. And this is just one feature of your plan. You do plenty of heavy training, but also you do this kind of thing, then it's totally fine. It doesn't immediately, it's not like when you cross from 30 to 31 reps, it's a total red flag. There's relative trade-offs here, and especially towards the end of a workout, ultra high reps like this, if you really focus on that burn, can be productive. Oh snap, we got back and we got VersaGrips. So a couple things. Why would you use VersaGrips? What the hell are they? They're like straps, but better. They're made out of a new space-age material, which scientists have not yet been able to identify. And I know that sounds strange that even though they couldn't identify it, they would be licensed by the government to produce these things, but it's one of those 1950s weird glowing goop from the spaceship kind of thing. So thank you, aliens, for the VersaGrip, and that crazy high friction material in there means that if you wrap it around any implement or bar, your arm is probably going to tear off before your grip goes, which is a really, really big deal, because what's our number one priority in the gym? To tear our limbs off. No, that's not it. To make sure our grip is not limiting factor, so our shoulders and our backs and our legs, all the other muscles that we have, are pushed to the limit and grip is still steady and stable. VersaGrips are absolutely the way to go for this. They're better than straps. They're better than chalk. And I think chalk and straps are awesome and I love them. VersaGrips are just kind of next level. Give some thought to getting them. We have a code here on the screen for you if you want to save some money. Link in the description. Ha! Got you, muff. That was an ad read. I'm sure you knew that by now, but ha! In any case, let's take a look at Iris Kyle lifting a little bit more. Someone must be helping her, or no? Yes. Oh, it's Hidetada Yamagishi, the best Japanese bodybuilder of all time. And Iris Kyle's significant other. Husband, maybe? I'm just not in the loop on bodybuilding relations. So, but they're somehow associated. Hidetada's really nice. He came up to me once and spoke to me for what I discerned was no reason at all, and shouted out some mad respect to me. And I was like, Hide, you're 10 times the man that I'll ever be. Please consider me irrelevant. I began to cry and I ran away. He thought that was normal and never spoke to me again. Not terrible technique here. I would like to see a deep hang stretch at the bottom for that stretch under load effect, for that lengthened tension. And she's coming up plenty high, but I would like to see some eccentric control on the way down and some lower positions. So being super nitpicky here, these were good pull-ups. The last pull-up, I would recommend you to slowly ride out that eccentric, pause at the bottom, and then jump off. That gives you that last rep's really high-level stimulus. Remember, the last rep is the one where you're closest to failure. It is probably going to be the rep that causes the most hypertrophic signaling. You might as well do that rep and milk everything out of it that you can. Imagine you're eating a cake that you just like, dude, I need more of this. This is the greatest ever. The last piece of cake that you eat, you're unlikely to be like, oh, that you're savoring every bite, you're chewing it, you're swallowing it. And that last piece, you're like, no, leave. People would be like, oh, I thought he was enjoying that cake. I guess he just got bored and kind of decided to finish it quickly. No, that's nonsense. You would eat that last little piece. You would savor every morsel of it. Same in lifting, that last rep. Now, this isn't a huge deal at all, but if you want to optimize your lifting just a little bit more, make sure you lift that last rep as if you have another one after. Slow, controlled, milky the eccentric, full range of motion. Don't just pop off the machine. I do that all the time. I pop off the machine all the time, and I could be doing better. All right, got some chest supported rows. This is good. Generally full range of motion. I would love to see Iris extend out at the bottom, super deep stretch, and then come pulse back up at the top. You can tell her chest is still upright at the bottom and her shoulders haven't sank down. That prevents all of the muscles of the mid back from really getting stretched like crazy in that deep position for the scapular protraction. And it does prevent them from hypertrophying as much as they could. If you have Iris Kyle back genetics, you don't need to worry about a goddamn thing. If you have your back genetics, try protracting, it'll help. A lot of short rest breaks, kind of 10-second breaks and then going. This is my rep training. And this is awesome. I didn't know Iris Kyle trained like this. But I also didn't know where babies came from until yesterday. Scott, the video guy, explained it to me. It's very physical. I wish I hadn't heard it.
2, 3, 4, 5.
These are good reps. There's a person doing upside down crunches behind her with no hands. And that person's rushing the eccentric also. How's that? I'll critique anybody, goddammit. I'll critique myself, my parents, my sister, my dog, that random person. Bring them all on.
That's right. 1, 2, 3.
Damn, she's really putting in work, man. Tons of Maya reps here. This is a smart training strategy. So here's what Maya reps basically are. You do a set of 10 to 20 reps, taking the muscle pretty close to failure. It can be 3 reps in reserve, can be all the way to failure. It doesn't much matter. You rest 5 to 10 seconds, and then you hit that again for another 5 to 10 reps. You rest another 5 to 10 seconds, and then you hit that exercise again for another, hopefully, 5 to 10 reps. What that allows you to do is spend a lot less time training, but allow a lot of the volume to be in high proximity to failure. More of that volume is now closer to your muscle's breaking point and potentially stimulating just as much gains as straight sets do for that same amount of total reps completed. But you can complete the total reps in a much shorter time, arguably saving in the systemic fatigue of having to be in the gym for goddamn ever. So this is a really, really cool way to train. It's not superior to straight sets. It does save time with probably no trade-offs on the other end. So it is cool for that. How do you keep Maya reps together? How do you program them? How do you keep them consistent? How do you log them? Well, I wish there was an app for that actually just has a new function installed that takes care of Maya reps and Maya rep match sets for you. Maybe I'll have a daydream and think about real hard what that app is. Training for muscle growth is never going to be the same. Holy handle. All right. All right. What do I say that's nice here? These are grotesque, gigantic handle. It's fun, it's cool for strongmen or whatever, or 8-foot tall people with 30-inch long middle fingers. But I don't get the oversized shit. And whatever company made that, you guys are great. I've seen your shit around. It's really hardcore, but god damn. And the handles are so thick. What is exactly the point of thick handles on rowing implements? I just gotta talk some shit. All due respect, folks. VersaGrips come in real clutch there, but with thinner handles and VersaGrips could be even better. All I'm saying. This is very good technique for the cable row. She's not doing some kind of crazy momentum. She's just arching back, getting that peak contraction, and then notice she's milking that eccentric. She pauses and then lets it slide down really slow. I can't tell if that was a warm-up set or not. Scott, was that working weight or was that just like, okay, well, it's one of those IFB pros, never can tell how far they are from failure type of videos. All right, we're doing some lat prayers. So this is a good technique. We want the lats hit as much as possible at their lengthened position, at their stretched position. So what I would love to see you guys do when you try this is to bend your hips even further such that your chest and your hips are roughly at the same level, basically parallel to the ground. And at the very top, you get maximum tension for your lats at the maximum stretch. When you come back down, you'll notice it's actually really easy. You might have to come up a little bit just so your face doesn't get scraped by the cable, but then just come up only far enough for the cable not to hit you. And then as you reach back out and arc back out, you're gonna bring your whole chest down and your face can go back to normal because the cable's out of the way. If you do that, that's probably one of the better ways to do this exercise. This is a fine way, but when you're coming up with the bar and your body rises up, you're no longer applying tension to the lats at their most lengthened position, which means you're losing some degree of optimality for muscle growth. So she's kind of throwing the weight down, which I usually hate on, but in this case, it's a little bit smart because she's riding that eccentric a ton. So she's getting to reps with weights she normally would not be able to on a strict concentric to be able to ride out that strict eccentric. And yes, you get excessive fatigue from throwing the weight down like that and using other muscles in your body, not just your lats, but you get probably a little bit less fatigue per the stimulus on the eccentric. So if you get more eccentrics to make up for this, the stimulus to fatigue ratio might work out just fine for you. Definitely something to try as a more advanced lifter when you have the basic standard technique really, really figured out. Then you can incorporate a little bit of this kind of concentric momentum to milk that eccentric load. Now, if you do the concentric momentum, but the eccentric you drop really quick anyway, you're just fucking around at that point. You must earn that concentric cheating in a sense, that momentum generation by going real slow on the eccentric on the way back up. Notice how slow she's going. That's the way to do this right. A little bit of a throw on the way down, slow and controlled. Hamstrings. All right. I need one of these Better Bodies pant outfits. Damn, Scott, what's up with that watch? Yo, I'm saying that Olympia money hits. Damn, girl got a Lamborghini on her wrist. I'm feeling that 100. And her Under Armour shit looks like she's about to get on the space shuttle. Goddamn astronaut's outfit. I love it. You can tell she's pausing at the top of some of her leg curls. That definitely really gets the mind-muscle connection going, can let you feel the tension in your hamstrings. Unfortunately, pausing at the top seeps away your energy to do more reps, and the most muscle growth promoting part of the rep is actually down closer to the stretch of the muscle. It's almost like, let's say you went to an amusement park with just like a super awesome girlfriend, she's new girlfriend, you're the new boyfriend, and you're just having the most amazing time. You have 8 hours in the amusement park. Any amount of time you spend on the shitter checking your DMs while she waits outside is definitely technically time at the amusement park, technically with her, but you're not there spending it in the best possible way. The best possible way to spend that time is be on that roller coaster that's not that scary and just make out while it does loops. Scott, you ever made out with anyone on a roller coaster before? A consenting person that you knew beforehand.
Oh, no, then no.
Then no. In kind of the same way, yes, at the peak contraction is a place to spend your hamstring curl time. And it's a fine place. It does grow muscle, just like checking your DMs in a shitty porta potty in Cedar Point can be a way to exist. but better to be making out and having young love somewhere in a little corner of the park, and better to be spending more time in that lengthened position, really exaggerating the eccentric, or even spending a second or two at that bottom stretch, waiting until you go up again for the concentric, gently touching your butt with that pad, and then coming back slow under control. Very nitpicky, but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Young love is in the air. Why do I keep saying young? That makes me seem like an old creep. Wait, accurate. Folks, if you like how this is going, there's still more video to come. But if you want the extra, super, unrated, uncut edition, it's in our members area. Give some thought to joining. There's tons of other videos there all the time. Maybe I'll see you there. Got some forced reps going. Help on the concentric. Notice there's no help on the eccentric. Very good. This is a great way to train. And then she's doing some bottom end partials too, sort of. The vertical leg press is back. The vertical leg press is one of the worst possible pieces of equipment to design. As you can tell, it minimizes the range of motion that the quads can exert at the knee, which is what leg pressing is for. It is a fine glute exercise in reality, but it also rounds the living shit out of your lower back for any given amount of stretch that it puts on your muscles. Not ideal, not even close. All right, we got some hack squats. Can't tell if this is a work set or not. I guess it might be. Very good eccentric control, decent depth. You guys notice her feet are up really high on the platform. For quad emphasis, I'd love for folks to bring their feet down a little and in just a little bit with their toes turned out. That usually hits your quads a little bit better than this stance. And this isn't a terrible stance, just again, gotta be nitpicky, or I don't have a job to do on this channel.
They're all work sets.
They're all work sets?
Yeah.
All right, IFBB work sets. Never can quite tell if it's a work set or people just moving around. Thank you, genetics. I do like the slow eccentric. That fucking works. Way to milk that shit out. All right, and that ends at 17 RIR. Anyone want to claim that all top pros go to failure? It's categorically either lying or making things up. I can't quite tell which one. All right, folks, a couple things. Iris Kyle, 10-time Miss Olympia champion. She is completely free from being able to be criticized, because once you win everything 10 times, once you win anything at all, certainly the Miss Olympia and certainly 10 times, people like me talking that shit, it just don't matter. I just want to remind everyone that I'm wholly irrelevant. However, we can learn from champions. If we don't have their genetics, we don't have all the tools they do in their toolbox, but we have the desire, we have modern science, we can look at what they did and what they do and see if we can't take a lot of the good lessons away and use those and maybe optimize on the margins and try some stuff even that they didn't try that could be a little bit better. More of a controlled tempo, more of a deep stretch, and getting pretty goddamn close to failure in most sets would be a super smart idea, and give that some thought. Take away what you will from Iris Kyle's training. There's tons more of it on the internet. Go check her out, check out her social media. And this is like a living legend of the sport. You win something 10 times in a row, man. That's a whole decade of you just being in the shit. Must get old or some shit like that. Anyway, I've talked to Iris in real life a few times, and she seems really sweet. So if you're in Las Vegas, she does have a gym. Go check that out. And yeah, I give this an Iris Kyle is an immortal goddess out of 10. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, that was fun. Right here is another video that maybe you should click on. Hey, maybe not. Give it some thought.